Hey, GG's, the dollars, hyenas, scuba dollars, love for scuba Steve, criminal out of y'all. Over there. Alright. Grab this right here. We'll press play.
The Rollin 60 Crips got hit with one of the craziest RICO indictments ever. Big U allegedly shot his own artist in the face and brought his body to the desert. And that's just the beginning. This case involves everything from murder to scamming NBA legends like Shaq. And today, we're breaking it all down. In March 2025, Big U and 18 other Crips were indicted on RICO charges. When the news first broke, the cops didn't have Big U in custody yet and thought he might try and do the race because he was the leader of the whole thing. Big U and a lot of dudes in the indictment are affiliated with the Rollin 60 Crips. But Big U was running his own thing called Big U Enterprise. Big U had his own charity and record label. But the cops said that Big U Enterprise was a mafia-like organization that Big U used as a front for his crew. Big U wanted everyone to think he had gone legit and was giving back to the community. But one of the prosecutors called him a murderer, a thief, a liar, and a cheater. One of the biggest details in the case is when Big U allegedly brutally murdered one of his own artists. Big U started his own rap label called Unique Music and was putting on artists from the West Coast. But in 2021, Big U allegedly pulled the trigger on his own rapper because of a diss track. A dude named Rayshawn Williams assigned to Big U's label, but there was some drama going on behind the scenes. It's not clear what sparked the issue, but Rayshawn Williams ended up dissing Big U in a song, and that's allegedly why he ended up getting shot in the face. And the craziest thing about the situation is that Rayshawn Williams talks about his own death on the track and described exactly how it could go down. Rayshawn Williams dissed Big U and called him a bro that makes some money. Then Rayshawn said that the song can get him killed for thinking shit funny. Rayshawn also raps about himself getting shot in the face with a .38 revolver that will leave no trace. Then 5 days after Rayshawn Williams made the track, the Las Vegas police found his dead body in a ditch. Rayshawn had been shot in the face with a revolver, and the cops think Big U was the one who pulled the trigger. And what makes the situation even crazier is that Big U had been Rayshawn Williams' football coach since he was a kid. According to court documents, Big U's label Unique Music paid to fly Rayshawn Williams from California to Las Vegas in January 2021. The label paid for Rayshawn to stay at an Airbnb, and he was supposed to go to the studio every day for a week to record new music. Rayshawn missed one of the studio sessions though, so Big U and his right-hand man Sylvester Robinson drove out to Las Vegas to press him about it. Big U and Sylvester Robinson showed up to the Airbnb and asked Rayshawn why he didn't go to the studio, and Rayshawn said he didn't have a ride. The next day, Rayshawn, Big U, and Sylvester Robinson all went to the studio. It's not clear what happened there, but Rayshawn had no idea that his old coach was allegedly going to murder him just a few hours later. Surveillance videos from Rayshawn's Airbnb spotted him going there after the studio session at around 1 in the morning. Rayshawn was...
What's poppin'? GG's, the dollars, hyenas, scuba dollars, love for scuba Steve, criminal, y'all. Life's what you make it. You can't love it. You can't hate it, the dollar. You heard? We're going to stay more aware than ever, the dollar. So, your boy Big U, the dollar, he got superseding. He got a superseding indictment, the dollar. He got 43 new charges, the dollar. Why the fuck is this? Acting crazy. Yo, GG. Yo. All right, we good. Making sure. Yeah, you can add, you come up here, Kevin. You can come up here, Kev. You can come up here. Nah.
Was allegedly riding with Big U, and he hopped out to grab his suitcase. Was supposed to be in Las Vegas for another day, but Big U allegedly had other plans. And according to the cops, Big U drove Rayshawn out into the desert, shot him in the face, and then went back to the studio. A witness said that Big U showed back up to the studio at around 3 in the morning, and it looked like he was drenched in sweat or water. And Big U told the witness that he just got back from the gym. Then just a few hours later, the cops found Rayshawn's body in the ditch. According to the indictment, Big U took recording equipment out of the studio after he allegedly killed Rayshawn and told someone to get rid of the surveillance footage from that night. The cops think that Big U had a fight at the studio before Rayshawn got killed, and that's why Big U wanted the video to be deleted. After Ray Sean got killed, Big U knew there was going to be some heat on him, so he allegedly made one of his homies drive his whip and stay in his crib. That way, if the cops showed up to the house or pulled the car over, Big U would have time to run before the cops actually got to him. Nobody really knows why Big U allegedly killed Ray Sean, but that's the situation that got the feds looking into him. And a month after Ray Sean died, the FBI opened an investigation into Big U Enterprises. Everyone already knew that Big U was one of the top dudes in the Rollin 60s though. Big U was always talking about the gang and said he came up robbing cars. Then he earned a rep in the streets by putting hands on all of his ops. Big U was pushing drugs all through the 80s, but he claimed he stopped after reading the autobiography of Malcolm X. That's when Big U got into the rap game, and he started managing a dude named Corrupt. Big U was still heavy in the streets though, and in '91, he tried to steal a bunch of cocaine from an undercover cop. Big U went down for 13 years in prison and got into all kinds of crazy situations behind bars. Big U admitted to stabbing a bunch of people in prison. And one time he hit a dude so hard that he knocked the dude's eyeball out of his socket. But then Big U came home in 2004 and started a charity called Developing Options.
You know what's crazy, Dada? What the fuck are they talking about him knocking someone's eyeball out of their socket, Dada? Like, what the hell that gotta do with his case, Dada? They be bringing up everything, Dada. They be trying to bring up everything that they got on you, Dada. Oh, he fucking beat up someone down the street. He did this, he did that, Dada. This shit's crazy wild. You gotta stay more aware than ever. That's a fact. You know what I mean? What's going on? Well, that's not actually was. This is actually. I feel like because it was probably.
We're not on it.
Yeah, I am, but it's there. But I feel like probably because it was up all night, it's like that. What's good, Kev? What's
going on? What's good with you? What's good with you? Ain't shit, man.
Ain't shit. 43 new charges on Big U, Dada. I already know what you're gonna say, Dada. But I gotta report it, Dada. You know I'm the hood journalist.
I see, man. That shit ugly.
What you feeling?
I mean,
how you feeling about the situation, Dada? Everybody.
I'm gonna say this. He got a lot of people that hate him, man. I'm talking about from society too, not just the dudes on the internet. Like whatever he was doing in society out there, them people dislike him, man, bad. That ain't a good look as far as a court, for him. Like for the people, the regular people, the regular pedestrian people who don't have charges, who ain't involved with nothing, they're even trying to tell on him. Like that's crazy. I don't know what the fuck he was doing, but damn. The regular people, pedestrians, civilians are telling on him. Like that's ugly, man.
The people at the church, nigga, the people at the church ain't praying for him, they said. So I had somebody come up here and they said, yo, we're not even praying for him.
No, because, I mean, listen, we ain't from LA, so we don't know. We know, only thing we know is what the people saying. Like,
yeah.
All right, fuck Whack 100 and 600 and all of them. The people from the communities are not backing this guy. Like they saying that he's corrupt and terror.
Yeah.
That's the bad part for him. Like he got the people from the streets, the pedestrian people, which listen, when he goes to trial, they're not gonna give him a trial of his peers anyway. It's gonna be a bunch of white people from the suburbs of LA. We know that. But if they could get the regular people from the hoods to testify against him, you know what I'm saying? When he pick his 12, it won't be 12 individuals from where he's from. They ain't doing that. They don't do that nowhere. But if they can convince the people from the neighborhoods where he was actually doing his do at, rather it was for the kids or whatever he was doing.
Yeah,
if they can convince those people to testify against him, he's finished. And he basically ain't gonna have no choice but to go to trial behind all the charges he got. You ain't gonna plead guilty to fucking 600 years. Nobody's doing that.
So how does it get to the point that people in the community don't want to see you? Don't want, like they don't got no sympathy for you now.
Hey, man,
Like, how does it get like that? Is it the law that he provides that he was saying, yo, this is law, this will be your pay by the dollar? Is them same laws that you gotta
Listen,
pay by
it
now?
goes on what you was doing. You know what I'm saying, in the community. Evidently, he was doing some shit that wasn't right. Because them people, regular pedestrians don't go against people that's doing good. Like that don't happen.
Yeah.
So I mean, he doing something. He did something that's fucked up. You know what I'm saying, to somebody. Or it could be this. Those people are being paid to say certain things. That can happen too.
I
That can
feel
happen
like
too.
I feel like maybe it's the implication. Maybe because he's implicated and probably they asked Adam 22 about the Nipsey Hussle situation, so people ain't feeling that.
Yeah.
The little 21-year-old kid, I know he's an adult and shit like that, but they feeling like he's a kid out there because he's a football player. He was doing all the right things, and he lived with Big U at the time.
Yeah.
So they like, yo, who the fuck does shit like that when you living with a person? You know what I'm saying? Going to
That's
blatantly get that and that and
that's true
OD
also.
on you. What you saying?
I said that's true also. Like how the kid died, you don't go to his funeral, nothing. That's another whole situation.
So maybe it's like now when it's like that, a lot of people got kids. So the mothers and people got fathers got kids. So mothers and fathers and communities and people is looking at people like, yo, you got disregard for all type of fucking life out here, the data that you just automatically thinking one way, like money way, the data. You're thinking like it's supposed to go just this way, bro. The kid disrespect you sometimes, the data. You probably disrespecting him, or he probably beefing with the son, but you already beat your son up. That he was half fucking dead, the data. So you don't mind beating someone else's son up, the data. And that's where you gotta end. That's where you gotta watch it, the data. Whatever you do to your kids in your house, the data, you beat them, the data. I hope you don't think that you can go outside and beat somebody else's kid. It don't work like that. You know what I'm saying? I hope you ain't feeling that way.
I mean, when I was a kid, that's how it went. You got your ass whooped by the whole neighborhood when you did something wrong. In today's society, it's not like that. You can't, but when I was a kid, if this whole block, the elderly people in this whole block saw me doing something wrong, they whooped my ass until I got home. And then when I got home, I got another ass whooping. That's how it went.
Fact. That's a fact. But that's because you could be known by everybody in the community, so they got your mom allows you that, you know what I'm saying, certain shit.
Yeah,
You know, like that. You know how to
I'm
block
saying that's just how it was back then. Like you couldn't disrespect no old people. Remember, I'm almost 50 years old. I'm not, I'm an older guy. So you got your ass whooped by everybody when you did something wrong. Any elderly person could whoop your ass and take you home, and your parents would oblige, would agree to that.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna explain why they whooped you. They ain't just whooping your ass and taking you home for nothing. They're whooping your ass because you did something.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? So that's another whole different.
Yeah, so them taxes, them taxes that is installed in Big U, maybe he feels like maybe they're not wrong.
I want to say this, man.
He said he didn't do nothing wrong. So the way that
I'm saying is, I give a man the benefit of the doubt, being that I've been on that side of the fence before. I'm not ever gonna paint a man guilty if he's not, if there's no evidence so far to say that. They can put whatever they want on the indictment. They can do that. They can put 99,000 new charges on there. That doesn't mean he's gonna be convicted for all of those charges they put there. See, a lot of people don't understand. You can get indicted for a whole bunch of shit. That don't mean you're gonna lose to those charges. See, to make it look good for them, they're adding all of this shit on there to make him look like a monster. So they're gonna put all that shit out there. But what I'm saying is, you got loose cannon girl going on social media, talking to him on the phone from prison, telling him about the indictment. He has a lawyer. The lawyer's gonna explain that to him if he's doing the indictment. Why are you doing it? What's going on here? I believe this. I believe loose cannon is going to give up Big U. Far as what's going on right now, why you got your girl calling you calling your girl from prison and she's telling you about an indictment on social media? Ain't that the reason why they saying that they in trouble anyway? So why are you still doing it?
Facts.
You in prison and you still doing it. And then again, why the fuck is he in Las Vegas in prison and they in LA in prison? I don't get that. They didn't lock you up in Las Vegas.
That's a fact.
So it's a lot to this shit that people got to understand. But we need to encourage people, man, to stay focused, man, and stay out of trouble, man. And these are the reasons why you should see. When I went to prison, there was no social media and all that shit. But now that there's social media and we could guide the youth in the right direction, putting this stuff on platforms is good, but being demonic towards the people that's in the jam is bad until they get found guilty. You don't paint a man guilty on social media like Whack 100 is doing, like 600 is doing. That dude 600, he might as well just go work for the government. He's beyond, like, he's saying all kind of shit. Like he kind of punished Big U himself.
Now that's a fact. I'm listening to you. I'm listening to you.
Yeah, he did you listen to the shit he's saying?
Yeah.
Like, he might as well become an agent.
He
Like, god
feels,
damn. Like,
he feels like he ain't do nothing wrong though.
How could you feel you ain't doing nothing wrong, man? And everything you hear, you going and putting it on social media, rather if it's wrong, right, indifferent, whatever. He don't even care. He just, if it say Big U, he running the social media with it.
I feel like he feels like he's standing up for people who are scared of Big U or some type of shit like that.
Bruh. Yo, listen, man. You gotta mind your motherfucking business when the business don't obtain to you. That's a code, man. That's a rule, man. If it ain't your business, mind your business as a man. You don't come on social media trying to bury another man. You know why he doing that? Because he's scared of Big U. That's why. This is listen, he's afraid of that man. I don't know why or how or whatever, but he's afraid of the man, so he's trying to get rid of the man. It's like Whack 100. Them dudes got some agenda other than disliking him, though. Big U had something going on that they wanted to be a part of that they couldn't. They know getting him out the way, they could move in and, revert that shit, make it happen. Because there's no way you don't got that much hate for somebody for no reason, man. That man ain't killed nobody in your family. He ain't done nothing to nobody in your family. He ain't done nothing to you, really. All y'all did was go back and forth on social media and might have had a fight or whatever. But it don't call for that much shit, man. Like,
you saying even with all the charges that you can't be kicking Big U that if he ain't, it don't try to
you can't step on nobody, man, while they down. Put it this way, I'm gonna just say this. Let the courts have they say, man. I'm saying it from my perspective of being on the other side of this shit. Let the courts have they say, man. Let the people need to slow down and let the courts have they say. Because what you gonna do if he beat all of this shit? You're gonna look like a jackass. You're going on social media saying all this shit. I'm not saying he is gonna beat it, but if he does, all of you motherfuckers gonna look retarded because y'all stepped on his neck and condemned him and all that shit. Y'all went with the white people on these type of matters. When it came to, just don't say nothing. You ain't gotta agree with Big U or whatever. Just don't say nothing until it's over.
So
Stop
do you
paint-
feel? So how do you feel about gangs running the community? That's what's happening.
I want to say this, right? I don't like the gang shit. I've never been a gang member, but I had a good friend, good leader, friend who's dead now, named SI from Staten Island. But he's dead now. The police killed him. But when I was locked up, when we was in the federal system, not the state system, he was in the state system too. We both was. When we was in the federal system, we didn't get along in the beginning because I wasn't on that gang shit. I never been on that gang shit. And he had a lot of say pressure on people, not pressure, but he was a name in that unit. I just got there. I was only there for a night at first. So I don't even know how the federal system really works now. I'm there, but I ain't really know how it works. So I come out the next morning, they on some now I didn't know how the phone works. So I'm on the phone and a nigga come to me and say, yo, man, we got time or whatever. We got slot time on this joint. I said, yo, how the fuck niggas got slot time on his phone when you got to punch in a PIN number and you get time, you get like 15 minutes to call and you can only do your calls every hour and shit like that. So I said, yo, man, get the fuck away from me. So he went to get SI. So long story short, me and him had a few words. So I told the nigga, listen, man, when I get off the phone, I'll holler at you. So boom, we go in the cell. We go in the cell. We talking now. So I'm like, yo, what's up? He's like, yo, man, this is how this go. I said, listen, I'm gonna say this. I'm not here to take nobody's time. But when I want to use the phone, I'm going to use it. I ain't on that shit like that, like phone time and all that shit. I just need to call my people, send my money. I need to let them know to contact my whatever, lawyer, all that shit. I don't give a fuck about this phone, nigga. I've been going to jail since I was a kid. I don't care about none of this, man. I don't even, I'm mad I got to eat a soup in this bitch. I ain't worried about none of this shit. So
So
anyway,
what they was saying?
after all of that, me and him became cool, like, like real cool and shit. So boom, we started working out together, doing shit like that. We everything became cool, but I never got with the gang culture shit because I always feel that being in a gang is because you lacking something. Like you ain't got no confidence in yourself. So that's why you go join a bunch of motherfuckers to get down with something for protection and all that shit. I never got with that in no jail system, not the state system, I'm talking about not juvenile, I'm talking about from Spofford, not Rikers Island, not up north, not DFY, not fucking Tryon, none of
Well,
that shit.
the shit
I
that
never got with the gang shit.
the
Even
shit.
though it wasn't out when I was a kid, it wasn't out. It came to New York in like 1993 is when it totally outburst came on it. But I never was with that. Like I was on the island in 1993. I
Yeah,
never was with none of that gang shit because they was recruiting motherfuckers out of everywhere because of the Spanish dudes.
I
Yeah,
I feel I feel like it changed a little bit more because the dynamic of it before the data, they used to actually help each other. What I see of it, like it was like like the Black Panthers. Then they had Crips over there. They had Bloods over there. That's where they come from, wherever they come from. So the dynamic was to help the neighborhood. But then niggas started fucking. You know what I'm saying? Shit changed. So now niggas take advantage of the same color. Niggas saying that you ain't gonna be a 60 member unless you kill a 60 member. That don't even make too much sense.
I'm gonna say this, right? We didn't hear that from the 60 members, so we can't really say that. That we hearing that from the regular pedestrians in society or the people from the neighborhoods or whatever. We're not hearing the 60s say, yo, man, the only way you can become this if you do this to your own. That's not what's being said by the 60s. That's being said by society.
Yeah,
Because of
that's what has been said by them, by Brick Baby and Big U
I
and
don't know.
another.
I've never heard that. I don't know. I mean, maybe you have, so you can say,
Yeah, I heard it. I heard it though. I heard it from their mouth.
yeah, I've never
Oh,
heard that,
yeah.
so I can't really speak on that.
So if they
It's
mindset is that
actually
way, Donata,
That's
that
crazy. That's retarded. That ain't even crazy. That's retarded. Like how you gotta kill your own to become one of them.
exactly.
I thought gang was based on basically numbers because you need numbers to go against anybody else. You know what I'm saying? You need numbers. So if you're in a gang and you going against another gang, don't you need numbers to be more superior than that gang? Like, I mean, you can have a few great men, but if they got numbers, a few great men ain't gonna get it.
So you gotta be willing to kill your own, Donata. Like what the fuck? You
That's
gotta kill your
retarded,
own.
man. I don't understand that part. I don't understand that part. Like, I really don't. And I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. And I just like to being who I am and being I did such a long time in prison, man, myself. I like to let the court system play out itself before I paint a picture of something. You know what I'm saying? Like people get on here and paint pictures and say, "Oh, well, this is that and that is this." If you don't, if you ain't in the realm of fighting this case, you really don't know what the case details are. What the news and shit gives you is a picture of what, because all of those fucking counts he got in new indictment counts he got, those superseding indictment counts, that doesn't mean he's gonna lose to all of them. That don't even mean he did that. That means they gathered so-called enough substantial evidence to put that on there. That doesn't mean that he's gonna lose and that he gonna lose and he's gonna lose all these counts and that don't mean that, man. So a lot of dudes get up here and start painting them guilty, like 600 and whack 100. And Loose Cannon. Loose Cannon's in jail still doing interviews on the internet, and he's on the indictment.
Gigi, I feel like him, if he beat the case or he lose the case, right? Niggas still gonna look at him the same. Look at his personality, his character the same. You understand? Even if he wins or he lose. So it's like
Big U?
Yeah, it's all about like what you present to the world, like your character. Like people, like you said, people just don't like him for some odd reason. It's a reason that we not there, we're not touching down, so we don't see. So
we ain't from LA, so we don't know.
Yeah.
We ain't from Crenshaw, so we don't know.
There's a reason for that. Yeah, so if there's a reason, it's not going to change. It's not going to, if he wins the case or lose the case, it's not going to change how people perceive him.
I want to say something to correct the culture. Gangs don't use nobody. I've never been in a gang in my life, and that shit is all over here in Brooklyn, in New York City, period. It's up to you to join that gang. They ain't making you join it. See, this is where we fall, you know, to the left at. Gangs this, gangs that. You made a choice to go in that gang. That gang didn't make you do nothing. If you a man, can't nobody make me do shit. That's why I'm 49 years old. I never was in a gang, but I got a lot of gang affiliated friends. Yeah,
they gotta obey by certain law, Dandada. When you come around your boys, Dandada, and they over there doing whatever flag shit they doing and shit like that, there's certain shit that they obeying by, but niggas don't fucking judge them or take anything from them. They are who they are, but they chose to do that. You could be in there or you not good. It's like the niggas who's doing the gang thing. They always had that mentality that they was gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? You can see them.
90%. I ain't gonna say 100 because you got some strong men that's involved with gangs, but I'm gonna say 80% of motherfuckers that's in a gang did it for a protective source. That's why they did it. The hoods is rough, man. You know, the hoods is rough, man. And dudes at certain points in times in life was afraid of certain shit. So they felt that if I join this organization, I'm gonna be left alone. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers ain't gonna be trying me. But then as it went on, the shit started becoming difficult for them. Like, you gotta do this and to become a member. You gotta do this, you gotta do that, you gotta do this. I don't wanna say, you know, certain things I've heard or certain things I've seen. But when they started that shit, that's what made it real fucked up.
That's what they said, nigga. They said that Big U will have artists, right? And he'll sign artists and he'll make them commit crimes so they could be, I guess, feel gangster or feel like they're part of the gang or something like that. Artists. So you're signing an artist to make them commit crimes.
I mean, that's what they saying.
Yeah, all right, that's what they saying.
You know what I'm saying? That's what they saying. Again, I'm gonna say this again.
Allegedly.
I'm gonna say this again, right? I'm not saying Big U is guilty or innocent. What I'm saying is this. What them dudes is doing on the internet to him is foul. You don't listen, man, not when you come from where you come from. You know what I'm saying? We from the trenches, man. Whatever state you from, whatever city you from, there's a trenches everywhere. You know what I'm saying? From that look like us. There's a hood everywhere. And if you came from that, I ain't painting a man guilty before the courts do. I don't care what they said, because I'm not from over there. I don't know if what they're saying is true. It's like they got an agenda to get this man. You know, I've been on the other side. I understand what it is, man.
Maybe, I don't know, man. The bullying got to niggas, Dada. People got fed up with that shit. You gotta understand, Dada. If he was just bullying street niggas, then maybe it would have been just a street shit. But when you've been bullying businesses, owners, regular people, and all that shit, it become a.
I want to ask this question. What business owner have we saw get on the internet and say, Big U did something to me? He took money from
the weed dispensary guy. He's on the street.
I didn't see that.
He got a chubby. He came up on there, the weed dispensary guy, He's the one that's actually a CI, He was taking money.
Oh, you talking about that? I seen that. I didn't see him, but I seen him. They say he was
kind of chubby. He looks like a hood nigga though.
He's CW1.
I think he's something like that. Yeah. Victim 1. Victim 1. So
yeah, Victim 1. That's what I mean. Victim 1. I saw that.
And there was more businesses that that they said something about, oh yeah, that he got to pay the 10,000. He upped it and thing. And there was another nigga that he took money and he made it come back and he gave him money back. Like he took 100,000, gave him 60,000 back, and took 40,000.
Ain't that what Loose Cannon was talking about?
Maybe, I think so.
But those guys painted like I don't understand. Yeah, they did a lot of shit to themselves too. You know what I'm saying? By going on these platforms with these, I don't know if I could say that up here. I'm gonna say this with these other guys that look different than us, and telling these guys things, not knowing who they really are.
You talking about Adam? Adam 22.
Adam
what?
22 and
why he's
and
a
Vlad,
white man?
And Vlad, nobody really knows who the fuck they are. Like you going on there, you just telling them shit because they got a platform and they platform make money, and you going on there just telling them all your business, and you living by society by the street code, man. You can't do that.
White, black, whatever the case may be, they journalists. So this is what they do. I feel like that's what they like to hear. They're not really about looking. They never been there, so they want to hear. You know how some niggas just want to hear a story.
All right, I'm gonna say this. Those guys went on other platforms, not just those platforms, right? And they said a lot of things on other platforms with people that look like us. Why did they go to Adam 22 to subpoena certain shit from his show? They didn't do that to the black podcasters. They listen, because they know he's a weak link. He's one of them. So we go to him and we scare him. He gonna give us everything everything we want.
They saying that Big U made the so-called checking in the data, telling everybody check it. You see the all right. So what about the Quando Rondo situation when Quando Rondo cousin actually passed away? The data, he was actually saying that, oh yeah, it would have never happened if he checked in. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm gonna say this. That could be taken on different, all different kind of ways. Maybe they're saying he could have checked in with somebody that's from there, or he could have checked in with somebody he knows, or maybe, somebody could have protected him when he got there. Not saying that he had to check in with Big U to survive. That's not, everybody's going to paint a picture of how they want it to look now on the internet. See, this podcast thing is very difficult at certain points. People doing things to get money. It's not like they're doing it because they're just having a conversation. They're doing this to get money. A lot of people on here are making a livelihood out of podcasts.
What's the truth, bro?
The truth, we won't find out the truth until he has his day in court, man.
The court don't make it truthful or not truthful. There's people in jail that's in jail for crimes they didn't commit. There's people in jail for crimes they did commit. So that don't make it truthful.
I'm gonna say this.
So true for your spirit.
I'm saying this. He's gonna have his day in court, meaning he's gonna go to trial, right? The people of the community is gonna be the ones to take the stand, not the people that not the 12 he picked. The people that gotta paint him guilty is from the communities that he was doing business in. You understand what I'm saying? Like he had a business, he had a nonprofit business for kids, whatever else he was doing business-wise, whatever else he was doing that wasn't business-wise, that was just on some whatever shit. Those people from the communities are the ones that gotta paint him, that gotta paint the picture to make him guilty, not the government. The government is going on what they're getting from the community. The government don't do no investigations really no more. Yeah, they investigated. They investigated that shit far as the PPP loans and all of that. That's nothing, man. If he only go to jail for that, he probably gets 6 years.
So Gigi,
for stealing money, that ain't nothing.
So Gigi, if they blowing up his spot, that means they telling people the malice that he's doing into the world. What is the truth, Kev? Are you going to tell me the truth, or are you just going to sit there? You going to be
how
like,
can I tell you the truth?
Judge, I ain't got no heaven. I ain't got no hell. So they don't got no heaven. They don't got no hell. No one has a heaven and hell.
We won't know the truth. Like I'm saying,
don't say that. The government don't say the truth.
Listen to me. The government don't have the truth or the lie. The people make it truth or lies. The people that's going to go against him, not the government. The government only goes on what they're told. They're not go. They weren't there when Big U was doing all that shit. No case has ever went to trial and the government found you guilty on their own. That don't work like that. That's why they have people who come and testify against you.
Yeah.
The government don't just go on you and say, you know what, we got enough. We saw him do this, so we the ones gonna make him guilty. No, the people in the communities that you're in that come and testify against you, that's how you get painted guilty or not guilty. Not the government. The government don't.
That's a fact.
Now, the only way the government could get them on their level is through the loans and the dealing with the money and all of that shit. Yeah, because they got paper trails for that. But for far as the crime that they're saying he did.
But look, they went to Adam. When they went to Adam 22, there wasn't action about nothing but they said Nipsey Hussle. They wanted to know what was going on with Nipsey Hussle. So what they doing, investigating the Nipsey Hussle case or something?
They're gonna investigate everything now because you remember you got people on here. The DEA, the DA that did the interview, he said out his own mouth. We go on, we watch social media ourselves. He said that out his own mouth on the interview of the news. So some stuff that they got, they're getting it from people going on these podcasts and saying certain shit. That's a part of it. Now, how true was that? We don't know. We don't know how true if them guys what they said was true. We don't know that. But with action happening within what they're talking about can hurt them because those actions took place. Now, was Big U there? No. Did those actions that they're talking about take place? Yes. Now, his affiliation to the people that's involved with those actions is what could hurt him.
So what happens? When they say, all right, boom, Big U went and they came, all right, boom, that's your son, right? Big U got your son. So your son, so Big U was the last person that seen your son alive, the daughter, and that little story is, they say that story right there, that Big U was the last one to see your son alive. He came, he grabbed your son, and that's the last time we ever seen your son. Fucking he came to destroy the evidence. And he came sweaty. He said he was from the gym. That's the last time we seen him and shit like that. How do you feel? How would you go about that situation? That's your son. You know what I'm saying?
I want to say this. The parents of that kid.
Not the parents. I'm just saying, Gigi. If that was your son, how would you look at the situation? Would you look at him like, oh yeah, nothing happened? Or are you gonna look like, yo, hold on, I gotta have a conversation with you? Like, how are you gonna look at that? If that gives you enough to want to have a conversation with him, or does it not give you enough?
I would have definitely had to talk to Big U on the situation because I'm not a police guy. So we would have had to have some type of dialogue on this shit because how my son come up missing and you don't know nothing about it and my son was living with you. That's a whole nother, like we got to deal with that individually. You know what I'm saying? And from what you give me tells me what actions I need to take. Without me, I don't even have to let you know the actions I'm going to take. I just need to know you, from your body language to me if you guilty or not.
So what you think the mom is feeling? You think the mom is feeling the same way that you gonna be feeling? The mom got her own she's her own person. Nigga, that's her kid too. So
yeah, maybe so. I mean, remember, the mother's only getting the dialogue of what happened from the people. She wasn't there. She doesn't really know if he was there or not. Like they saying, oh, Big U's DNA was found under the kid's nails.
That's what I'm saying.
Now listen.
It's a big story.
If that was the case,
would you still want to talk to Big U? If the story was whole fake, nigga, and that's not what happened, Adada, but you know for sure he was with him. Like,
you got damn right I want to talk to Big U because I need to know. Like I said, my action from what I obtained from Big U is going to make me deal with things how I'm going to deal with it. I can't go off what people were saying that wasn't there. They just going off of, they just saying shit. Remember, this dude got a lot of enemies where he's from. Now, you got people coming out of the woodworks now saying, oh, he was this, he was that, he was this, he was that. What took y'all so long to say he was this, he was that? That's the point.
It does. I don't look at what's the name blame. I don't know what's the name calling. Always looking at certain situations that you just scratch your head and you feel like, oh shit, that's maybe why the cops are scratching their head, nigga. Like it's not them that's putting. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's not people putting himself in those situations.
In today's
Loose Cannon wasn't with him when he did that. Loose Cannon was the one where he did a lot of shit. It's not them putting him in his name. It's him in a lot of situations. That's just what it is. He's in that.
But listen, Loose Cannon painted a lot of pictures. Let's think about that. He got on podcast and he said a lot of shit that's incriminating.
All right, so does he go? So what does Big U got to show then? When that situation, when you ask the Big U questions about your son,
Big U got to prove that he wasn't involved with.
How will he prove that though? How will he prove that your son is dead? How can he prove that?
No, he has to prove that he wasn't involved with none of the crimes that they.
No, I'm talking about if Big U did that with your son, how does he prove to you that he didn't do it? Like if you heard that story, how would he prove to you? How would you have to leave Big U alone? And be like, all right, Big U, you don't have nothing to do with it. What would he have to say to you?
That would be a discretion on what he told you. When you have a conversation with Big U, it's up to your discretion to believe what he's saying or not. Or you're going to believe what society's saying. That's the key to it. If you go address Big U on the matters that, at hand, you're going to go on what he tell you in his body language and how he looking and how he moving, and you're going to make your decision off of that, whatever that decision is. You know what I'm saying? But you definitely would have to have, from my point of view, we'll have to have a conversation with Big U.
Hello? Yeah, you gotta go. All right.
In order to
be here all day.
In order to get your final answer, however you feel you want to go about it.
You out, Messiah? Are you good? Messiah is a little weak. Nigga, you gotta wait till you get a rest, bro. Your time, yeah, did you?
Yeah,
I hear you.
You know, you. I mean, Big, you got to prove that he wasn't at these places. He don't have nothing to do with whatever they saying he's guilty of. You know, him and his lawyers got to prove that. You know, alibis and whatever. You know what I'm saying? But we still got to wait until till he has his days in court, man. We can't say, oh, he guilty because the society's saying that. Or you got dudes on the internet saying that. Remember, these dudes getting paid to go on these podcasts and say certain shit and get views and likes and money and whatever. So you got to give him his time, in court.
Thanks. I understand what you.
I got a question though. So what's Big U trying to do now that he's out?
He's not out. He's in jail.
Oh, he's in jail.
Yeah. All right. That's a fact. You got left that way. Now it's my cousin. Not a cousin right here.
Big U is locked up, man. That's the reason why all of this is taking place. They locked him up. If they would have never locked him up, all this shit wouldn't be talked about. He's locked up now. He's locked up with I mean, at the Mac Mizzle show, I don't know if it's going to take 5 years for them to convict him. They got a lot of shit, on them so far. They superseded him real quick. It ain't even take months. Like, I was superseded. It took 90 days for them to supersede me. You know what I'm saying?
So that
It
means
took
that means that they showing everything that he's about to be charged with.
yeah. Those new 43 counts is added to his indictment
That's
in a matter of days. We're not talking about weeks or months. So he been in jail for like what, a week?
That's a fact. That's a fact. Let's see
You know
what.
what I'm
Let's
saying?
see what.
So it's strong. Whatever they got is strong because you got people talking to them. But what people don't understand is you got to answer to all of that shit that you tell them. Because Big U going.
All right. So boom. Even if he beats everything, the data, right? If he beats everything, the data,
Yeah.
right? How do you still view him as a person?
I got to view him from what happened. If he beats it, I got to view him for who he is. I can't view him on none of the shit they saying he did if he beat it.
All right.
You can't view him. You can't view him on what he beats, and you can't say, well, he beat it, but he was guilty. You can't.
No, I'm
do
not
it.
saying now. I'm talking about the parents and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Or
If he beat it, they can't say he killed their son.
Yeah. That's different, bro. It's different, bro. It's different.
Correct the culture. You can't say there's no way he beats everything. You can't say that as of right now because this case is fresh. You can't say he can't beat everything. There's people that beat the feds before. You just don't know them. You don't hear about it. Because the majority of the dudes that beat the feds have their 98% conviction rate because the people plead guilty. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people plead guilty, plus the ones that blew trial. The 2% that won, you don't hear from them.
Yeah.
You got to go in the law books to read about it. You know?
But yeah, Big U's in a big ass predicament, Dada. Now that
He's
he's
in a bad. Right now he's in a bad predicament. Right now.
Yeah, facts.
He in a predicament to where they're basically giving him no choice but to go to trial because even if he pleads guilty, the time that they're gonna give him is a life sentence anyway. It doesn't really, he's gonna get a life sentence anyway. If
you feel like he's gonna you feel like that's what's gonna happen? You feel like he's gonna get a life sentence?
Listen, Big U is 58 years old. 30 years is a life sentence for him.
Yeah, that's different.
27 years and 3 months is a life sentence.
I feel like maybe Big U Dada, maybe he dug himself in a big ass hole, Dada. You know what I'm saying?
Correct the culture. We ain't betting no money that he don't beat it, that he gonna beat everything. Who the hell said that? What you talking about?
This dude's trolling the Dada.
Yeah.
But I feel like he put himself in a big ass predicament because if your name is involved, even if it's involved in the Nipsey Hussle, why would it even have to be the Dada? So if it is the Dada and that's what's moving traffic out there, the Dada, you gotta relax on how people look at you. So the littlest thing that you're doing, you can run a red light. People's gonna be like, "Yo, he ran a red light." Da, da, da. Nah, we know about the Nipsey shit. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Like we know about certain shit, da, da, da. And it gets like that when you start doing malice towards good people. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna say this again.
I ain't saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that's what's moving traffic.
Listen,
You have to be realistic.
If he wins,
yeah,
you can't paint that picture anymore.
I ain't painting the picture, GG.
Now I'm talking about even society. If he wins, you can't paint that picture anymore. Which I doubt he's gonna beat every charge. They don't lock you up for you to win. That's not what the Fed. Listen, the feds don't do investigations like they used to anymore. People tell them everything they need to know. Yeah, they investigated the shit about the money and all that shit. Yeah, the PPP loans and the loans and yeah, they did that.
They gave. You know why he's not actually being it because the feds gave somebody money and he took the money. So the feds was giving the business owner money and he was taking it from them. So that's that. That's that.
Well,
The feds was giving the dude money. And the dude went to the feds and he said, "Oh yeah, this nigga's extorting me." The feds said, "All right, here, pay him with this money." And he gave him the money and he paid and he was paying him with the feds' money. Gigi, you're not. What you like? What like?
I
What
mean,
happens there?
if that's the case, then you know he got to answer to that. You know what I'm saying? He got to answer to that in court. He got to, you know,
I mean,
he's
is
as
that
far as
not?
that. If that's the case,
That's what they saying.
it's gonna be hell. It's gonna be hell to beat that. You know, if they gave him the person the money and he was taking the money and they got wiretaps to show that he was taking the money, and because they ain't just giving you no money to give to somebody without there being any surveillance of it.
That's crazy. That's wild. That's
You know what I'm
crazy.
saying? Rather it's voice or actually or it's audio or video, one of the two.
Gigi, look here. They give it. He was taking it, but you gotta understand that he's already working for the government. They already giving him millions of dollars, so they don't mind giving him a couple dollars to fuck him up the dollar because they're about to take the money that they actually giving him from the GRIP program.
All right, listen to what I'm saying to you. If the dude that said he was robbing them or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
the government gave him money to set Big U up far as the explanation of him robbing him. He has to have audio or video of the actual action taking place. They don't just give you money for you to go, and that's not how that works.
Yeah.
Now, if they have all of that, like they saying his phones was tapped. If his phones was tapped and he was doing all these actions and they got the actual information on it through his phones or through the other guy's phones or however, yeah, he's going down. Ain't no ifs, ands, and
So
buts
why?
about it.
What is that? What type of charge is that? Like, what the fuck is that?
He got robbery. You robbing somebody when you taking money from them, that's robbery.
And all this and why and this is what it is too. I'm gonna tell you this, Dada. He didn't have to do that. He didn't have to be doing that.
I mean, we're not saying what he had to do or what he didn't have to do. We don't know.
I'm saying if you get money from the GRID program, then that means that you didn't have to be doing that, Dada, and that's what they was filling
You got
them
to
out.
understand, when you get money as a nonprofit organization, you have to account for every dollar that you spend. Where you spent it, how you spent it, why you spent it, all of that. It has to be accounted for. Yes, a percentage of that goes to his pay. Yes, but there's a percentage of it that goes to his pay, and he signed for that. They let him know what all the expenses and everything, how much he's supposed to get, and they all of that. Now, if he goes left on what they prescribed for him to do, then he committed a crime, and that's a part of all of this shit here, because they named that's in his indictment also. That's
I hear you, Gigi. I hear you.
So you gotta answer to that if that's the case.
I'm gonna run to the restroom real quick though. 1 second.
All right, I'll just answer some of the questions at hand here. Hey, correct the culture. If the Fed set up videos, audio, whatever in his place, and he committed the acts within those audios or videos, then he's guilty. You know what I'm saying? He's guilty if that's the case. They say they tapped his phones. If they tapped his phones and he incriminated himself within those phone taps, those audios, then they got him. I just want the people to have, the people to let him have his day. You know what I'm saying, in court, man. The people, what's wrong with this podcast thing is people paint people guilty before the courts paint them guilty. And the DA agent said out the gate, they watch these podcasts, to get information from it. So the questions that the podcaster asked him, and he answered those questions. If they're incriminating, yes, they're gonna use them. They got Adam 22. They asked for the video of certain aspects of things.
So you're
That
calling
they,
Adam 22 and fucking Vlad the Fed, nigga. Like,
I'm
you
not.
that
I'm not.
upset, nigga.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. If you allow someone to ask you questions that's incriminating, and you answer those questions, you did that to yourself. You
They
did that
said
to yourself.
Big U got $4 million from the I guess the GRIP program in the course of them surveilling him. Damn,
5 years, course of 5 years or something like that. He got some millions from them. Okay,
yeah.
now I answered that question already. Before he got that money, they gave him detail of what he's supposed to do with the money. Now, if he went against the detail that they gave him on what he's supposed to do with the money, then he committed a crime, and he's to be prosecuted for that crime he committed. Do we know at this point that he committed a crime within the giving of that money? No.
So what is the 43 new charges? Do you know them? Oh,
I don't know all of them. I didn't read all of them.
Let's play them. Let's see if we can find them. See what's going on. You got 43 new charges. We're gonna get to it. We're gonna get into it. See what's going on.
Enterprise, like mafia style, man. So y'all already know, man, the game out there in the West Coast, and it's been popular and worldwide known that when you go out to certain parts of California, man, you got to check in. If you don't check in, you're going to be a target, man. And the feds is using the whole check-in moniker against Big U, man. So check this out. As a part of the Big U Enterprise's purported control of Los Angeles, individuals, including professional athletes, musicians, and others, intended to conduct.
Yo, the Checking In podcast, Dada. Like, I'm trying to tell you, he did it to himself, fuck around there. And then he went out.
I mean,
Gigi, he went to the Breakfast Club and said, the Quando Rondo, like, what kind of fucking grown-ass, fucking illiterate ass dude does some shit like that? Go all the way to the Breakfast Club, Dada, and say that shit about Quando Rondo. You know what I'm saying? That shit was out of line. It was to the left. But it seems like it was really happening. You just blatantly went all the way.
A lot of shit. Like I said, a lot of shit. People incriminate themselves going on podcasts, answering certain questions. I said that. You can't do that.
Let's look through the 43.
Conduct certain types of businesses in Los Angeles, including both legitimate business and illicit criminal conduct, were required to check in with defendant Henley prior to traveling to Los Angeles or engaging in certain activities in order to obtain protection from the Big U Enterprise while in Los Angeles, man. The defendant Henley posted a podcast titled Check In, the opening theme song, which explained,
when you hop off the plane, check in. Penthouse suite, check in. Cause if not, shit get hot, you better check it in.
In so many words, man, the feds are pretty much saying that this is illegal activity because what Big U was doing was making it seem like Los Angeles was its own private territory and that you had to have permission from him to check in. And if you didn't, there were going to be violent consequences. You understand what I'm saying? So check this out, man.
I feel like AB, AB did that with the dice game. I feel like, what the fuck is he doing? Even talking to Big U. How did Big U even AB should have knocked Big U on his pocket. That's what I feel about it. That's just my personal opinion.
They gotta prove that, though. They gotta prove that. Now, are the people that saying they lost the money, are they witnesses? That's another thing. You can't just say he cheated people in the dice game and this and that and the third if the people that supposedly got cheated, allegedly, are not saying that.
They said they got their money back or something? That's what I'm saying. They said they got their money back because of Big U. But Big U, if Big U approached AB should have knocked him the fuck out. Real shit. That's what I feel. He's a bot. Like, come on, AB. You AB. You supposed to be AB, Dundada. Let's be real.
But you gotta understand, Big U weigh 300 and something pounds. AB weigh 100 and something pounds. Because you're a boxer don't mean you're gonna go knock out a 400. Damn near.
No, but Big U been knocked out before though. So
I mean, that's still.
That's his tactics. Those are his tactics. You know what I'm saying? I heard Big U got knocked out a couple times.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm just saying that we gotta look at weight classes too. We can't just say, oh, because you're a boxer, you can go knock out a motherfucker. That's a street fight. There ain't no rules to that shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I said he should have knocked him out, GG. I can't say he should have knocked him out, GG.
No, you could say that. I'm just giving a rebuttal to what you said.
Yeah, fine.
And we got a video of Big U making a film crew who was shooting a movie in the hood check in, man. And he tells on himself right on video, man. Check this out.
Movie production in the hood. That's how we do it, man.
Top flight, baby. Yeah.
GB running this here movie set in the hood.
Come on out here.
Coming out here and checking in with GB, getting these movies done. You better know it. So, anytime you want to do movies in the hood, just check it in. We can make sure it's done. Movies, videos. But if you don't check it in,
Oh, well. Check your ass out.
we're gonna check you in, all right. We're gonna check in all of your equipment. We're gonna check in all of your equipment.
One of the most disturbing things about this indictment, man, is the murder.
You see, when they saying that shit, they actually trying to say that about the Nipsey Hussle situation.
He incriminating himself when he said.
Talking about the Nipsey Hussle situation that he taking the equipment, he took his equipment like that. What the fuck? What do you get off taking a nigga's equipment, Dada? Like that's what I actually don't get, Dada. Do you know how to rap? Are you gonna fuck with the equipment? You just a hating. That's some hating.
I don't know, man.
That's some hating that shit, GG.
That was done.
You come over here trying to take the rap equipment, bro. That's some hating that shit, bro.
It's a lot of shit.
Murder of 21-year-old Rayshawn Williams, man, which was a aspiring rapper and also a football player who was mentored and also lived with Big U and was also allegedly Big U's son's best friend, man. So Big U sent him out there to the studio to Las Vegas, and Big U felt like he was lollygagging with the time, wasn't taking it serious, and he even recorded a diss track towards Big U according to the criminal complaint, right? So check this out, man. On January 23rd, 2021, defendants Henley and Robinson drove from Los Angeles to Las Vegas in a Lexus sedan to confront victim RW about his lack of production in the studio. On January 24th, 2021, at approximately 2 o'clock, defendant Henley arrived at the Airbnb in the sedan and asked victim RW why victim RW had not been at the studio the previous day, wasting studio time and disrespecting Unique Music and the Big U Enterprise. On January 24th, 2021, at the direction of defendant Henley, victim RW recorded a song at the studio before midnight. On January 25th, 2021, at approximately 12:58 a.m., defendant Henley's two phones stopped reporting location data, indicating that they were turned off or placed on airplane mode while in the vicinity of the studio. On January 25th, 2021, defendant Henley drove victim RW from the studio to the Airbnb. On January 25th, 2021, at approximately 1:20 a.m., victim RW left their Airbnb with his suitcase packed and entered the sedan with defendant Henley 1 day before victim RW's scheduled checkout from the Airbnb and 1 day before victim RW's return flight to Los Angeles. On January 25th, 2021, defendant Henley drove victim RW north of Las Vegas on Interstate 15 near the Apex Regional Landfill. On January 25th, 2021, defendant Henley drove south on Interstate 15 back to Las Vegas. On January 25th, 2021, at approximately 2:15 a.m., defendant Henley's two phones both began reporting location data again, indicating they were turned on or taken out of airplane mode. While defendant Henley was continuing driving south from Interstate 15 to US 95, back to Las Vegas. On January 25th, 2021, at approximately 2:30 a.m., defendant Henley returned to the studio, telling an employee at the studio that he had gone to the gym. On January 21st, victim RW's body was found off Interstate 15 in the depicted area below with multiple gunshot wounds to the head. After he killed Rayshawn Williams, man, Big U tried to elude law enforcement, man, by trying to, coerce people to not talk to law enforcement, and even went to the lengths of going back to the studio where Rayshawn Williams was recording and removed the daggone security footage in the studio, man. So check this out, man. On January 25th, 2021, defendant Henley contacted the producer to inform him that Nevada homicide detectives will be interviewing the producer about the death of victim RW. On January 26, 2021, defendant Henley contacted the producer and demanded that the producer and his employees leave the studio premises. On January 26, 2021, at the defendant Henley's direction, Big U Enterprise associate DS and others known and unknown to the grand jury removed portions of the security system from the studio, including security video and data from the times victim RW and defendants Henley and Robinson were present at the studio prior to the victim RW's murder. On February 14th, 2023, on an intercepted call after speaking with detectives, SH called defendant Henley from defendant Henley's father's phone to warn defendant Henley that detectives were seeking to discuss victim RW's murder with defendant Henley, and defendant Henley asked how many officers were there. Beginning on February 14, 2023, to evade law enforcement interaction regarding victim RW's murder, defendant Henley did not return home to his residence for multiple days. On February 21st, 2023, on an intercepted call, defendant Henley ordered his son not to talk to anyone about RW's murder. On February 21st, 2023, on an intercepted call, defendant Henley told SH to call KF's mother, but to do so on the encrypted FaceTime application to discuss victim RW's murder. On February 23rd, 2023.
You listening?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Hear that?
As captured on a hidden recording device surreptitiously placed inside under the hood muscle cars, and after law enforcement attempted to contact defendants Henley and Martin, defendant Henley speculated whether they were under law enforcement surveillance for victim RW's murder, man. They even got Big U out there extorting people, man. Listen, he was extorting this dude that owned an illegal dispensary, and when the dude couldn't give up no money, Big U sent his henchmen over there to rob him, man. Listen, check this out. For years, defendant Henley extorted victim one, a music club promoter who transitioned into a partnership with the unlicensed marijuana dispensary located in Los Angeles for up to $25,000 per month in extortion fees until victim one started to ignore defendant Henley's phone call. On July 25th, 2021, when victim one had been ignoring defendant Henley's calls demanding extortion payments, defendant Robinson, Big U Enterprise member and self-proclaimed ROLLIN 60 member Tremaine Ashley Williams, aka Loose Cannon, and approximately 9 other individuals, all acted at defendant Henley's direction, traveled to the dispensary and committed a robbery. On July 5th, 2021, defendant Robinson, Williams, and others known and unknown to the grand jury stole products, cash, and multiple personal items from those in the dispensary, including victim one. On July 5th, 2021, shortly after the robbery of victim one's dispensary, defendant Henley invited victim one to defendant Henley's home, where the defendant Henley, Williams, and other robbers were present, and many of the items robbed from the dispensary were on display.
So this is what Loose Cannon. This is the situation with Loose Cannon right here. But all them other fucking the things that he was talking about and shit like that, that's just fucking Big U by itself. You know what I'm saying? So Big U got his own separate things going on that ain't got nothing to do with nobody, just him and that kid or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's ugly, that situation. Like,
and they got him out wiretap telling his son and shit like that, a couple things and whatever the case may be.
I mean, I'm gonna tell you this. He got a lot of answering to do, far as what they got here. Like with the telling his son don't talk to nobody, and taking away the surveillance from the studio and all of that shit. Also, You got dudes like Loose Cannon who got on podcasts and talked about certain shit that's incriminating. And that's another thing. You incriminated yourself, not only Big U, yourself too. But like I said, with what's going on with Loose Cannon is
This
going
is
to
what's
tell.
going on with Loose Cannon right here, though. It's just a little robbery,
Yeah,
though. What do you think?
Loose Cannon said a whole lot other than this
Yeah,
on those podcasts that he got an answer to too. Like
All right.
you incriminated a whole bunch of shit on social media. Brick Baby, another one. You went on there saying all this shit. I got more bodies than you got squabbles and all type of dumb shit. Like who does? Where the fuck they found these dudes from?
GG, but them niggas ain't in that type of work. They're not in that segment of his work about no bodies, no nothing. That's not what's going on with them. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Big
I'm
U
not.
got his own
I'm saying
situation.
this. That superseding indictment, Brick Baby's not even on it.
That's what I'm saying. So
There's only like 7 people on that superseding indictment.
that means Brick Baby.
But like I said, Loose Cannon. I'm gonna say this from far as how I feel about it. I'm not saying it's true. Loose Cannon had to be working with these people already. For you to get on a podcast and say all the shit you said, and now you're in a different prison from everybody else. I'm talking about states away. What are you doing in Las Vegas when when the nature of your crime is from LA? And then you got your wife getting up here talking about your phone call. She's putting it on social media, the phone call she's having with you, talking about indictments and all of that. What the fuck?
You talking about Loose Cannon's wife?
Loose Cannon's wife just did an interview, I think it was today, where she's talking to Loose Cannon on the phone, telling him about the superseding indictment. Oh, you on it, and if they only going on what they got on the internet, we could beat it. And that should not be on social media. That shouldn't be on social media. Yeah, I seen the Drink Champs joint with Bimmy and all of them. I seen that. I seen that.
What they want to
joint
listen to? What they want to like?
with
Well,
Big U. It's a Drink Champs joint with Big U, Bimmy, and Deb, Big Deb. I want to say this, because he had no remorse for Nipsey's death doesn't mean he did it. If I'm gonna say this, if you had a problem with somebody and they get killed or they die of natural causes or whatever, you're not gonna really have sympathy for them because you had a problem with them. So that I mean, him not having no sympathy doesn't mean he did anything.
Yeah, I feel it. I feel what you're saying.
No, I'm saying,
It just shows that he was a hating ass nigga. He's a
right.
lying ass.
It showed that he didn't, And now let me tell you something. From far as what I know about Nipsey, because I'm from New York, I don't really know. I don't know Nipsey. I don't know who his affiliates are, none of that. But from what he gave to the world, he was a good man. He didn't deserve what happened to him. Everybody felt that from what he gave. The knowledge that he had, how he was, running around. I mean, how he was presenting himself, as far as even the Dr. Sebi thing, even building up his community, even the literature that he gave, far as Black people, well, itself. The world kind of, loved Nipsey. That's another big thing. If he gets convicted for Nipsey, he's fucked.
Niggas ain't gonna fuck with him.
What they mean?
Went into the Nipsey Hussle rumors, right? And I had never heard that. I had never heard the Nipsey Hussle conspiracy that Big U had that. something to do with
Yo,
it, right?
Nori.
But let me ask you. Let me get
You
to
gotta
it.
watch Nori, nigga. This nigga's a funny ass nigga. He said, I never heard about the conspiracy of Big U. Like, motherfucker, you done. I bet. Nori's a funny
A little deeper question. The rumor has it is that Nip came up to this guy and said, "I can't hang with you, or we can't be around because he was a rat, right?"
Right.
Let me ask you a question. It's kind of harsh. Was Nipsey supposed to say that? If you're not in the streets no more, is your opinion on the streets that valid? I'm asking.
Yeah, I mean, you got to understand it was two things. Well, let me ask you this, because what bothers me the most when people say he got killed by one of his own homeboys.
Right.
Well, at some point, he wasn't his homeboy.
Right.
Because he's like, nigga, you ain't supposed to be here.
Right.
If you fire somebody from Drink Champs,
Right.
and a nigga pull back up to Drink Champs while y'all filming, you're going to be like, nigga, wasn't that a disgruntled employee?
Right.
That means he wasn't the homeboy.
Right.
Like, so they need to dead that part.
Right.
Like, he wasn't the homie.
Right.
And then secondly, no, Nip shouldn't have addressed that because Nip knew who he was.
Right.
Like, the nigga was they guy. Like, he worked for Nip, grew up with Nip, and he really was he was the man. He was their guy.
Right.
He really was a shooter in the streets.
Mm-hmm.
And secondly, it ain't no paperwork on the man.
Wow.
So, I mean, we have yet to find
I'll
him.
tell you something that happened that day. It happened, what day Nipsey got? I think it was a Sunday, Nipsey, or something like that.
It was a Saturday.
I got approached with that same situation that Saturday. Dude came up to me in a restaurant. I was trapped, and he felt it. He said, "I'm gonna let you know right now. People saying I'm a rat." And I was like, "Oh shit!" Like I didn't want to have this conversation. And look, he just said it straight out. And I was like, "Oh shit!" He addressed me, so I didn't have to address him. But I thought to myself, I thought about Nipsey immediately when that happened the next day. I was like, yo, that could have happened. That actual situation could have happened to me. But as a rapper, would I been out of line to even question a real street dude?
I mean, Nip, you gotta understand, people want to separate Nip from the streets.
Mm-hmm.
You don't never really leave the streets. Like Nip, this is where he grew up at, this is where he lived, this is where his business was.
Right.
So really, dude was in violation. If you knew, rat or not, if you know y'all not rocking, why you pull up in my space? You know what I'm saying? And Nip like, nigga, free my space. I ain't trying to go there with you, but free my space. And Nip's supposed to go there because that's where he meet the kids. That's where he greet the people. That's where he still stay grounded. You know what I mean? Like if he don't go there no more, he don't show up. He these other niggas, he leave LA and move somewhere else. He in Hollywood. He just took pictures with some little babies.
Wow, that's a great.
You understand what I'm saying? He had blessed a little girl and some more kids and was taking pictures with them. That's what he's supposed to do. He giving back. You know what I mean? His presence is gonna touch somebody else. So if a lane come up, if they beefing, whatever the reason is, he don't have to be snitching, don't have to be whatever. Nigga, you just was mad at the world, or you was mad at what the situation is. I'm not gonna stop going to my neighborhood. I live in my neighborhood.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? I live on the hill in my neighborhood.
Arlington, not Arlington.
Not on Arlington. I live up to where we always wanted to be. You know what I'm saying? Arlington, we wanted to get to them houses up there. So I got to them houses up there. You know what I mean? But nah, man, I mean, it's a farce to think that violence ain't gonna follow you wherever it is. You know what I mean? It's gonna follow you wherever it's gonna follow you. And if it's meant for you to happen, it's gonna hit you. Period.
That's real. Now, Deb, you got one of my favorite, like Bobby Brown has my favorite
Stop
cocaine
it right
story
here for
when
a
he said
minute.
he fried cocaine.
Yeah.
Now, I'm quite sure everybody here that's on here with us heard what he said. He said that the dude in Nipsey wasn't cool. It ain't had nothing really about him being a snitch. Me and you don't see eye to eye. Why are you in my presence from what I'm doing? In my presence where I am, why are you here knowing that I'm orchestrating something right here? Why are you in my presence? Me and you don't have nothing in common right now. So, get from around here. Now, does that say Big U had something to do with what the fuck happened? If they didn't agree with each other, which Nipsey told them that. Yo, you know you don't belong around here, man. You a rat. So, I mean, this is a discrepancy thing here. This ain't to say that Big U killed him, because he had a discrepancy with this guy. He told this guy something, and the guy didn't abide by it, and the guy didn't feel like he should have, so he went and did what he did. Does that say Big U did anything? No. That's,
I
you know,
mean, not this conversation, nah.
now, if,
Yeah.
like, correct the culture got a question here, which is a good question. Is Shitty Cuz still a member of the Rolling 60s?
Yeah.
If you a rat, how could you be a member of something that goes against that?
They say he wasn't though. He's gonna say, I think. Let me see. I think he says it.
Pull up in my space.
Conspiracy that the Big U had that something to do with it, right? But let me ask you, let me get to a little deeper.
Yo, you heard Norby, nigga? That Big U has something to do with it, right? Yo, this nigga's a
Question.
funny ass.
No, he said he
nigga,
never
bro.
heard.
The rumor has it is that Nip
I know.
has something to do with it, right? But let me ask you, let me get to hustle rumors, right? And I had never heard that. I had never heard of the hustle conspiracy that the Big U had that something to do with it, right? But let me ask you, let me get to a little deeper question. The rumor has it is that Nip came up to this guy and said, "I can't hang with you, or we can't be around because he was a rat, right?"
Right.
Let me ask you a question. It's kind of harsh. Was Nipsey supposed to say that?
All right, we heard all this.
The kids. That's where he greet the people. That's where he still stay grounded. You know what I mean? Like if he don't go there no more, he don't show up. He these other things. He leave LA and move somewhere else. He in Hollywood. He just took pictures with some little babies.
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying? He had blessed a little girl and some more kids and was taking pictures with them. That's what he's supposed to do. He giving back. You know what I mean? His presence is gonna touch somebody else. So if a lane come up, if they beefing whatever the reason is, he don't have to be snitching, don't have to be whatever. Nigga, you just was mad at the world or you was mad at what the situation is. I'm not gonna stop going to my neighborhood. I live in my neighborhood.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? I live on the hill in my neighborhood.
Arlington, not Arlington.
Not on Arlington. I live up to where we always wanted to be. You know what I'm saying? For Arlington, we wanted to get to them houses up there. So I got to them houses.
Yeah, nah, Big U saying Big U's actually saying like it's not about the snitch thing. It's not a snitch thing. He didn't even want to mention it because he said
there's no paperwork on the kid that Nipsey called the rat. There's no they didn't find no paperwork as of yet still that the dude actually ratted on somebody. So I'm gonna say this. I've been saying it for the longest on other podcasts too. You do not say disrespect a man's character and say he's a rat and you don't have no evidence of that. I've been saying that. You can't do that. I've been in the penitentiary, so I know, I know the protocol behind that. It can get you killed, man. And this is a prime example of it.
Nah, man, I mean, it's a farce to think that violence ain't gonna follow you wherever it is.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's gonna follow you wherever it's gonna follow you. And if it's meant for you to happen, it's gonna hit you. Period.
That's real. Now, Deb, you got one of my favorite, like Bobby Brown also has my favorite cocaine story when he said he fried cocaine. He fried chicken with cocaine. And I just thought that was amazing. Like, who has that much cocaine that they can convince it with flour? I thought Bobby Brown had it until I heard your story, Deb. Yo, when I heard
he switched it up. I mean,
we going on what all of this is hearsay. Like I'm just answering correct the coach what he said, but some people say that Nip never called him a rat. We don't know that. I know we seen the shit where Nip told him he don't belong here. He said it to him right there outside. They got a video of that shit. So
you really can't put no words to it, Dada, but if they investigated in it, that's what they doing.
No, I'm gonna say this. He's not indicted for Nipsey's murder. He's not.
Yeah.
So, conversation about that is kind of non-void right now because he's not indicted for it. So, the only person that could really jam him with that would be Eric Holder, Shitty, or whatever they want to call him, the dude who actually committed the crime. I was believing that the government had something to do with it from what he was putting out in society as far as, you know, medicine and life on life terms of living and Dr. Sebi's, you
I don't
know,
think the government has something to do with that shit.
documentary and things of that nature. I'm just going on what I felt at the
Yeah.
time, knowing that what Nipsey was standing for. So with all of this, you know, it's all some extra shit in it. But there's only one man who can explain why he did it.
And who
And it's the
that?
person that did it.
Shitty?
Yeah, Shitty is the only one that can say why he did it.
I don't feel that the government did it, Dondada.
You know, Nipsey. Now another thing, Nipsey went and had some things. He's supposed to have some type of dealings with the police on violence in L.A., and they supposed to have not been agreeable to that. And you know, it's a lot.
But that's what Big U's doing anyway with the GRIP program. He gotta fuck with the cops.
No, I'm not saying Big
On
U.
July 5th, 2021, at defendant Henley's home with the robbers and the items robbed from the victim one's dispensary present, defendant Henley told victim one, that's how you rob yourself. So pretty much, man, in so many words, right? Big U robbed this dude because he wasn't making the extortion payments. But so the dude went broke. I guess, you know, he wasn't paying Big U what he wanted to pay Big U anymore. So Big U sent Loose Cannon and a few other people over there to rob the dispensary. But while they were at the house, divvying up the product, counting up what they got, Big U called the dude that he sent him over to the rob over there to his house and pretty much presented his stuff back to him and said, hey, listen, you robbed yourself. How did you rob yourself, sir? Because you refused to give me my money. So Big U was extorting this dude so bad, robbed him, presented it to him, and then gave him his stuff back, took $10,000 from him, and then said, hey, give me some more people I can rob, but you're going to continue to pay me. On July 31st, 2022, defendant Henley told victim one that defendant Henley needed $30,000 to pay his developing Usher staff and was considering a robbery and increased extortions to obtain the funds, saying that defendant Henley did not care if they had to rob Peter to pay Paul. They needed to get down. On September 15, 2022, when victim one asked why victim one and others were still paying extortion fees to Big U Enterprise, defendant Robertson explained that when defendant Henley got out, he said, I'm the toughest dude and here's my body of work to prove it. And you know, I'm the only dude still killing dudes today. You dudes retired. I didn't. They understand that. On December 2nd, 2021, victim two was hosting defendant Henley's birthday party at an adult entertainment club in Los Angeles, for which victim two was a promoter. On December 2nd, 2021, defendant Henley demanded $30,000 extortion payment for victim two hosting defendant Henley's birthday party. On December 2nd, 2021, defendant Henley threatened to have 5,006 hoes destroy victim two's business, and that if we got to tear that MF up, we're going to tear it up. So be ready for.
Yep, go ahead, DJ.
All right. Now you see how that could be, you know, a toss-up. He said that Big U extorted the dude for hosting his party. Now that could be Big U wanted a percentage of the Big U got a percentage of the money because he let dude host the party and they agreed to that. We don't know if that part of the paperwork is even true. Because if I have a birthday party, you host it, right? And we negotiate that you hosting my birthday party. I at the end of this party, I would like to I would like to be compensated because I'm allowing you to host my party. That's not extortion. That's what I'm saying. That's not you know, that could have been an agreeable thing.
But the things that you're hearing, is wiretap, I'm thinking. Because how did he say that he's the biggest and the toughest? Where they hearing all that from? They hearing that shit out of his mouth. So that gotta be a wiretap. He's the biggest, he's the toughest, he's the one still killing niggas still to this day. Where they hearing all that shit from? You know what I'm saying? They're hearing out of his own mouth. He's probably threatening some niggas, and that's the way he's threatening them on the jack.
Let's keep going because I
for that. Be ready for that. Bring me my money. Feds got Big U for all of these extortion payments. They got it all itemized in the indictment and everything. And y'all already know, man, that the dude.
He's saying that shit. Big U's actually saying that shit, GG. This ain't a fucking a toss-up, nigga. Make believe, nigga. This is the feds saying that this is what this nigga was saying on the phone to other individuals, GG. You gotta understand that. This ain't, no, I'm saying this shit ain't made up, nigga.
Dude that Big U was extorting, the dude that was running the illegal weed dispensary, started snitching on Big U because he ran out of money, and Big U was messing with him so tough, he ran to the authorities. And guess what, man? The authorities, the FBI, started giving that dude the extortion money. He was giving Big U the money from the feds. They even got Big U on camera receiving, right, extortion payments from this dude. But it wasn't the dude's money, it was the feds' money, man. So they got Big U on this right here, man. Extortion payments, attempted extortion, all of that right there, man. So they got it itemized. Big U, red-handed, dead to rights. Also in this indictment, man, they got Big U for wire fraud, man, transferring money that was donated to Developing Options into his own personal account, man. A lot of people don't know that.
What you want about the payments? What happened with the payments? You see the payments?
I seen it. Yeah, that's crazy.
That they gave it to him.
Listen, he fucked up. He fucked up with that. That's, you know, you can't beat that if they got it documented and they got you on phone saying all of this shit. Now, this part here, transferring money from an account to an account that he has access to, that doesn't mean he did anything wrong. If he transferred $15,000 from Developing Options account to his own account, which is he has access to all those accounts, because technically those accounts are his. Even the Developing Options account is his, because he's the one who set up the nonprofit organization. Now, if he needed to transfer some of that money to do something far as business, whatever, he's allowed to do that. So this doesn't make him guilty. All of these transfers doesn't make him guilty of doing anything wrong with those funds, because he has access to do that.
Yeah, but they showed the shit before. That's why they trying to show the shit before, so they could let him know, let you know what he been doing. They like, yo, this is what he's been doing, because we giving him extra money, and this is what he's doing with it. So this is what he's doing here too. That's what they saying. You understand?
Yeah, this is part of the new shit though. This is 35, 36, 37, 38, 39.
Yeah,
These are
yeah.
the counts. I mean, this is bullshit though. This ain't no murder shit or no, like, this shit here. I mean,
the murder was there. The murder was there in the first counts, and the first 17 counts.
Dealing with money. This is I mean, he gonna get what, 5 years for all of this shit?
Yeah, for
like,
this,
you gotta steal billions to get 20 years and all that shit.
All right.
That's illegal. Big U was using the Developing Options to extort other people, man. They say, you know, he was extorting athletes, entertainers, and all of that, but making it seem like they was making donations to his organization. But what he would do is go dip in the pot and put that money in his pocket. That's illegal. They got him for illegal transfers, wire transfers. Also, they got him for some prostitution in this thing. Big U was doing all kinds of things, running the whole gamut. And I got to say, man, it's not looking good for him. 43 counts on this right here, and it looks like the feds got him dead to rights, right? On the murder of Rayshawn Williams, we already know the feds got him dead to right on the extortion payments. Why? Because, you know, the dude was getting the money from the feds after a while. You know, Big U had them drained them dry. He didn't have no other option, and we know Big U was leaning on this dude with violence, right? So he had to run to the authorities, and the authorities was giving him the money, man. Prostitution. Big U was running girls and things like that. The female in the indictment, he was running girls in this situation, man. So they got him dead to rights on that for the Mann Act, right? Bringing people across state lines for the purposes of prostitution and or sex, you know? So they got him on that right there too, man. And I got to say, there's one person in this indictment that's missing, man. Brick Baby. He's mentioned in this indictment, but he's not one of the people that's charged in the indictment. I wonder why. I really.
What you feeling, the data? That's crazy. That's crazy right there.
They said that Big U said his own mouth he didn't fuck with Brick Baby, so
hey, maybe that's what it is.
That's why he probably ain't mentioned, because they don't have nothing to mention him. They probably said his name, but if they don't have no crime to mention him in, then you know.
That's a fact.
It's
That's a
people's
fact.
name that listen. It's people's names that's been mentioned on federal indictments that hasn't been indicted. I've seen that myself. Everybody who's is mentioned in a complaint or indictment or whatever, if they don't have no say or they haven't committed any acts within the indictment, they're not to be indicted. Their name came up because they got wiretaps or whatever. Somebody mentioned their name, so that automatically has to go in the paperwork because whatever's said on those taps has to go there. They can't leave out nothing.
So you're trying to say that everything is most of the things is complaints. That's what you're trying to. That's what you're saying.
No, he's indicted now. That's not a complaint.
All right.
I just
All
said
right.
it. In a complaint or an indictment,
All
there's
right.
people's names who have been mentioned that have nothing to do with the crime, but they have been mentioned as far as any type of conversation within the wiretaps that they have. But they can't indict those individuals because they were just talked about. They didn't commit any. There was not any acts talked about within that situation. So their names are mentioned, but they cannot leave that out because it's part of the evidence.
Facts.
Whatever was said on those wiretaps is evidence. That means they have to put it there.
Facts. So you wanna, you know what I'm saying, GG, you wanna leave on a good note, leave on a positive note,
This here goes to show that streets don't love nobody, man. Crime don't love nobody. Because look at this. All of the guys that committed crime with him is eventually going to tell. They're not going to jail. And a lot of this evidence that they're getting is coming from individuals. It ain't coming from no wiretaps and all that shit. A lot of this evidence is coming from people.
Yeah. I mean,
It's not
it came
coming.
from him too. A lot of the shit came from him, GG.
Well, I mean, some of it came from him, but the majority of it came from them.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Listen, man, streets don't love nobody, man. And you gotta be, be careful what you put yourself involved with. You know what I'm saying? Because this is the type of shit that can happen, man. Like from what I'm getting right now, Big U is fucked. He's fucked. He got all of this shit against him. Then he got the wiretaps plus the people, and the wiretaps will make a lot of the stuff that the people is saying true because it's going to be in the nature of that. So even if they tell lies within the truth, the lies going to be permissible too because they're telling the truth about certain shit that's happening. You know what I'm saying? That's happening that the feds got width of already.
Facts.
He got a lie. Oh, man. I mean, pleading guilty ain't even an option for him, though. Because if he plead guilty, that's a life sentence anyway.
It's when I'm gonna keep it realistic. You gotta stay more righteous than ever, GG. And when you doing shit, make sure you're doing it. You ain't got no malice to it. It ain't bad to be helping the world, nigga. Two people could live on this planet. Have little altercations, whatever the case may be. You go agree to disagree as a grown ass man. It don't have to be a situation that you gotta be feeling like you gotta be manipulating the scenery. Everywhere you go, so people can like you. It's not going to work like that. Some people might like you. Some people might like you. Some people might fuck with your character. Some people might fuck with other people's character more than they fuck with your character. Everybody got to be okay with living the way that they are. Everybody's a person. It's 8.8 billion people, 8.8 billion ways to live, 8.8 different characters, different fingerprints, different DNAs. Everybody got to, or everywhere, live your way, But more or less, just don't hate on the next, CG. That's just what it is, man.
Like I said, man, to the kids out there, man, y'all stay positive. The negative aspects of life is not a good thing. And this shows it. Like, they've made snitching it's like a thing to do now. So don't think that because you got away with it today, that tomorrow won't be different. And don't think that the individuals that you're doing it with are solid all the way through. Because before you go to do a crime, there's not one person in the group that says, yo, if they catch us, we're going to just tell them everything. Nobody says that. But somebody always does it. Nobody says, oh, don't worry about it. If we get caught, we're just going to tell authorities everything. Nobody says that within the nature of a crime. But somebody always does it after the crime is done and you get caught. Think about that. Think about how unsolid the people that you thinking of doing something with are. That could change the dynamics of your way of thinking about doing it. That's the key, man.
That's like
Today, in today's society, well, it's always been like that because you got snitching been going on since forever. It just there was no social media, there was no phones or it wasn't televised, it wasn't put out there because that part of life didn't come about yet. But now that it's here, you don't see not one case. Well, one case, Chef G and them, nobody told. 32 people, nobody told. I mean, that's like an exception. Like you might not ever see that again. The thing is, crime don't pay, and that's what the kids need to understand. You can make it in life. Just think about this. I'm gonna take it from my point of view, my perspective. When I went to jail for the first time, I was a juvenile, right? You had people getting back then. You could get a job, a summer youth job. You can get a job at McDonald's. You can get the people that was doing crime. You go away for years. The dude that we was laughing at that had the McDonald's job was the one having sex with your girl when you was in jail for 4 or 5 years, 2, 3 years, 8, 9 months, whatever it was. That guy that you was laughing at, that you was giggling on, and saying he's this, he's that, is the one that was penetrating your woman when you was doing that bid, when you had a number, you had a CR number. That guy was the one that she was dealing with, that you was laughing at. So think about that. You know what I'm saying? Think about what the circumstances are with going to prison and doing an extensive amount of time, or even thinking of the nature of doing a crime instead of going and getting a job or starting a business or whatever. Being a productive member of society is going to keep you here. That will get you what you want. It might take you longer to get it because you got to work harder.
that's a
But
fact.
short-term glory don't last. It's that simple. We got you listen, man. Staying here for a long term is better than gaining something and being here for a short term, and then you got to talk about it in prison to somebody else.
A boring life's a long life, GG.
Yes,
You know
right.
what I'm saying? That's what I heard.
That's
I
right.
heard a
That's true.
boring life's a long life, just, take it day by day, longevity, so, you saying? You could stay down, life got meaning, if you could understand it, then you could live for something. You could eat what you want every day, you just gotta get up and think what you want to eat, nigga, and then that could get you somewhere, instead of being so lazy that you just like, you know what, I'm just gonna grab this. But you could eat everything you want to eat every day. You could live everywhere you want to live every day of your life. You just gotta stay righteous. Just live it. You know what I'm saying? And think of what you want to live and the type of frequency you want to be in. You good. Okay.
This is a learning lesson for everybody, man. Now that everybody's able to see it. See, when back in the days when crime was being done, like everybody wasn't able to see it because it wasn't all of this technology wasn't here. Now that the technology is here, this goes to show you that you don't need to commit crime, no matter how glorified it is for that specific amount of time. Eventually, it's going to happen to you. You're going down. So not because you're going down because of what you're going down because of what others may do. Do which you might go somewhere else and get arrested. And then he feel he don't want to do that time. So he tells on what you got going on. These are the things that, you know, happen in this world, in this realm of the world, as far as the negative aspect of it. I want all kids, man, to think about that, man. You don't have to go to prison. That's not, and we not here to glorify that shit. You don't have to be a productive memory of crime, productive member of crime. Being a productive member of society, yeah, it's gonna take you longer to get to where you're trying to get to, but you're gonna be here to see it and make it and enjoy it. When you do it the negative way, you're not here to enjoy it. Big U is a prime example of that. He did all of
That's
that.
fact.
And now look, he's 58 years old, facing multiple life sentences as of what the indictments are saying. At 58 years old. Come on. He's supposed to be laying back,
That's
chilling
fact.
in life at 58. He ain't supposed to be facing no
But
criminal charges.
the same way that you get it, it's the same way that they're gonna take it.
That's a fact. That's a
That's how
fact.
it be. You heard, GG? So we
That's
gotta
a
stay more
fact.
legit than ever.
So until next time, man.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm out, man. I'll see you in
It
the
was a
next
good
joint.
acknowledgement, Kev.
All right.
Yeah, for
You know how
sure.
we
In a
do,
little
man.
bit, Dada. You're right.
All right.
You already know.
Peace.
We back on this
Peace.
bitch in a bit. All right. All
All
right,
right,
you already
peace.
know. Yo, GG, Dada's Hyenas, Scuba Downs, one for Scuba Steve was criminated, y'all. Dada, you already know what's going on, Dada. You know what I'm saying? Life got meaning. Y'all gotta act like it, Dada. Life's what you make it, GGs. You know what I'm saying? So stay more aware than ever, Dada. Stay coherent, Dada. The angels in the outfield, Aou, Dada. You know what I'm saying? I rock with the King X. Don't forget the Kennedy. We're gonna do our Million Man March right here on YouTube, Dada. We connect ourselves to the Most High, staying righteous, Dada. You know what I'm saying? We put God first. So when they ask us how we did it, God simply right, Dada. We're in the elevator. Who's elevated? God's elevated, Dada, on the way to the top, GG. And it is what it is, GG, Dada. We're building that. We're climbing our mountain of life right here, Dada. So, you know what I'm saying? Life could be just shattered. You gotta stay more aware than ever. You heard? You know what I'm saying? Stay active, GGs. You heard? Ooh.